Hey, doctor, these are the patients who will be calling you today.
Hello? What? No, I can't remember. What? Your mother? Which one is your mother? Wait, hang on, Mrs. Pang. Hello? Hello? 你叫什么名？等一下先。有啦，哎呦，啊 ？No。哎呀 ，hang on 啊。Hello? Yeah. No. The blue one is enough. Chop. Why don't we do it like this? You can join me on a live show where we can chat about this and that. I will try my very best to answer all of your questions. All of your questions answered by this A Doctor. Okay, so come join me on my show on the A Doctor Facebook page. Come and ask me, A Doctor this, A Doctor that. I will answer this, I will answer that. You. Hey, hello! Welcome back, everyone, to the season finale for this season's A Doctor. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Now, we are live on Facebook and YouTube as well. It's great to have you guys with here. And today I'm going to be talking about something that's a bit out of endocrinology, but kind of related. And I think it's really important that we do focus on this particular thing if you want to lose weight. Now, it's not just weight as well. I think it's many things. Sleep is important. Now, of course, don't forget before you go to sleep to click like and subscribe and share and all those usual kind of YouTube, Facebook things. So, of course, today we're going to talk about, you would have seen the teaser trailers already, snoozing to lose, okay? So, how does sleep affect our weight? Is it you sleep too much, you gain weight? Or is it you sleep too little, you lose weight? Okay, I'll be answering this and that kind of questions about sleep. Now, before this, we went out to the sort of streets around the studio and asked some members of the public what they thought about sleep. How many hours of sleep do they get a day? How many hours do they think they need to sleep? And do they know what are the effects of not having enough sleep? And do you think sleep can affect your weight and how? So here is the video.
I usually sleep 8 hours a day.
I usually sleep around 6 to 7 hours per night. That's my, I would say, good sleep time. Any lesser than that, I'll become very grumpy.
I usually sleep for only 6 to 7 hours. Like, that's how my body clock functions. Even though I've worked a long day and very tired, I still wake up after 6 to 7 hours of sleep.
Well, personally, I probably sleep between 7 to 8 hours a day. But ideally, I try to get 7 hours at least of sleep. I try and tend to go to sleep by 11 and wake up around 7 in the morning. Kind of tough because I'm working in an industry which time sometimes doesn't run or doesn't exist. Yes, I've heard of sleep deprivation before, but I'm just shooting out here. But I think it's where you don't have enough sleep.
I've heard of sleep deprivation before, and I think I myself have experienced it once or twice. Some of the side effects I'd say that I experienced was disorientation. and I couldn't focus throughout the day, and I become very grumpy.
To me, I would think that each and everyone's body functions differently, whereby some people may need longer hours of sleep to have a full rejuvenation, but some people lesser. And when you are sleeping lesser than what your body, the time of rest your body requires, that will be deprived of sleep. And the side effects would be having some headaches, feeling very low energy.
For me, I don't think so.
But definitely, I feel it could affect body weight. You could be overweight or underweight because you're sleeping too much and not eating. So yeah, it could affect your weight as well.
I believe so, yes. Or at least I've read studies that say so.
I would think that it would, although that's just my guess that sleep would affect body weight. It's because that your body doesn't get enough rest and therefore you get heavier, I guess.
Okay, so that was some of the things that people kind of think about. Yeah, I think everybody knows like the general rule, sleep 7 to 8 hours a day. I think important things to note as well is it's not just the time of it. You do need quality sleep. You need to go into deep sleep, right? Where you get REM, rapid eye movement, meaning that you have to dream. So yeah, hopefully you guys are getting dreamy sleep. Now, of course, sleep deprivation, all of us have gone through it. You go for all these overnight flights last time when we could fly. And you go to a different country when you're jet lagged, and you get all these effects. Of course, number one, you're tired. Number two, you're moody and angry, etc. So send in your questions. What do you think are the effects of sleep deprivation? Do you have any questions for me, this A doctor, about sleep deprivation? I'll try my best to answer. It's not exactly a pure endocrinology topic. And of course, also, sleep does have an effect on weight. This is a well-known kind of link, right? But I'm actually going to show you in my PowerPoint presentation next that it can be a vicious cycle. It can work one way, right? Not enough sleep makes you gain weight. And then what happens is when you gain weight, it can actually impact as well the quality of sleep. Okay, so how many hours of sleep do you get a day? The first reply that I have here straight away, you've always been so supportive of the show. You say you sleep more than 12 hours a day. Come on. I see you in clinic. I don't think you sleep more than 12 hours a day. And somebody who sleeps half of that, Abby Lowe, says she's only sleeps 6 hours a day. My cats keep me awake. Okay, so yeah, what are we going to do with that? You have to give away your kittens, because otherwise what, they come and bite your ear, bite your head, bite your, what was it, Anthony, bite your nipple. Okay, so definitely you got to love your cats, but you also got to get enough sleep so that you make sure you wake up and you can look after them. Okay, so if I could have my PowerPoint on, I'm just going to Jessie Nightingale, 6 to 7 hours. Yep, kind of like me. Okay, so snooze to lose and how sleep affects your weight. So we know that definitely sleep and weight are related. Let me tell you a little bit more. Now, to lose weight, we know that you have to think fast. I've sort of brought this up before. If you haven't heard this before, link back up to my previous videos on weight loss. Now, what is fast? Of course, fast, the first thing, F. Okay, fast is, of course, now to all my Muslim friends, you're fasting for Ramadan, and hopefully that will help you to lose weight. And when it comes to buka puasa, don't overbuka, right? Yeah, definitely the same tip that was given to me by the studio staff as I'm sitting here with my legs crossed. They said, don't overbuka. Okay, otherwise not good. So F is for food, eat less. Okay, definitely dieting, you want to lose weight, you got to eat less food. This is well known. A is for activity, you got to do more. So if you burn your calories more and you eat less calories, you will mathematically, pragmatically lose weight. Of course, it's not that easy because there are things like hormones which can interfere. And one of the ways that it can interfere is actually with sleep. Because if you don't sleep properly, you end up eating more than you mean to. A simple way to think about it is this: you got more opportunity to eat in the middle of the night when you are not asleep. And also, our brain gets the signals mixed up one, Tired means hungry, so I go and look for food. That can quite often happen. Actually, the food doesn't solve the problem. The problem is you're tired and you need sleep, and so therefore that should be the solution to your problems. But yeah. So T is for treatment. Go and see a doctor, right? Treatment means either you really, really need help to lose weight, and there are many different ways. There are medications, there's surgery, there's different programs. We can guide you through dieting and exercise a little bit better than you can by yourself. Okay, so FAST, food, activity, sleep, and treatment. But today we are going to talk about sleep, because I think sleep is one of those things that nobody thinks about, right? You say you want to lose weight, right? People automatically think, yeah, must exercise more, must eat less. But did you know you need to sleep enough? This is one of those things where, it's not a matter of, yes, you sleep too much also is true, right? It's not good for you. You sleep too little, in fact, is also good for you. And many things in our modern lifestyle we forget about and take for granted. And I think one of them I want to remind all of you about today is actually about sleep. But here's the thing. I'm actually pretty guilty of not sleeping enough, right? I get phone calls like yesterday. I get a phone call just after midnight, right, to say, oh, got patient in A&E lah, got this lah, got that lah. Okay. So yeah, sometimes as one of the interviewees said, I work in an industry where you have to do shift work lah. Okay, you have to sort of answer phone calls from United States of America in the middle of the night lah. Yeah, but that you have to understand can sometimes impact your health. Okay, and today we're talking about how it impacts your weight. Now, okay, it is something which is not fully actually worked out yet, okay? But here's a very already simplified diagram. How sleep deprivation means not enough sleep, can ultimately lead to weight gain and obesity. And of course, obesity is the pathway, the door which opens to many other dangerous things like diabetes lah, high blood pressure lah, cholesterol problems, arthritis, okay, etc., etc. So sleep, when you don't get enough sleep, you get these mixed signals, right? You get these hormonal signals from hormones called leptin and ghrelin, which basically increase your hunger. Okay, one of the ways your body tries to compensate for lack of sleep is to take in more energy, increase your caloric intake. And this is something which is really, really very powerful. Sometimes you think you want to control these hormones, but sometimes it's the hormones which control you. And of course, when you eat more, you have this tendency to gain weight. Of course, not sleeping, like I said also. Okay, if by 2 a.m., 3 a.m. you're not asleep, you will have increased opportunity to eat. Right, so all of you who watch all these EPL football matches and your best buddy is Mr. Pringles or Mr. Potato, okay, increased opportunity to eat, and guess what? It goes hand in hand with the fact that you feel hungry. Yeah. So yeah, Abby, completely correct. I always feel hungry when about to sleep. Sigh. So you got to defeat that, man. You got to sleep and not eat. Okay. Now during the night, it is colder. Whether you have aircon or no aircon, you will realize that during the day it's very hot, and during the night, actually, you will feel colder. And one of the responses of the body towards feeling cold is, of course, to want to try to warm up. So sometimes that is also eating, but that is also reduced energy expenditure. So you kind of don't burn up as much as you do during the day. And then, of course, when you have increased fatigue as well, the very next day you want to sort of go and exercise, but you're too tired, okay, because you did not sleep enough the night before. But here's the thing, I add my own arrow to this diagram. Because when you put on weight, it can lead to this disease, this syndrome which we call obesity hypoventilation syndrome, or what used to be called sleep apnea syndrome. And sleep apnea syndrome is where you grow obese and you put on a lot of weight around your chest, put on a lot of weight around your neck, okay? Put on a lot of weight all over, and this leads to difficult breathing in the middle of the night, sometimes to the point where the patient stops breathing. And when this happens, right, it actually leads to them having sleep deprivation without knowing it. They can fall asleep at 11, set the alarm clock for 7 a.m. the next morning, but they didn't truly get 8 hours of sleep. Okay, they wake up and they don't feel refreshed. They wake up and they still feel tired, right? They're very groggy still. And that's one of the signs, you know. These are the kind of people that you don't want to be driving lorry, you know. They are halfway doing some questions or some questionnaires and then they are feeling tired, okay? So that's one of the things I think which is important, right? If you wake up early in the morning, you've had 7, 8, 9 hours and you still don't feel refreshed, you do need to go and see a doctor. You may be having obesity, hyperventilation, or you may even be having other problems that I routinely see, issues with your thyroid, issues with your cortisol hormone. Okay, so definitely there is this link. Sleep deprivation leads to obesity, but obesity can lead back to sleep deprivation as well. So I think this is something that should be recognized and is under-recognized, okay? Now, what really sparked this episode was this recent publication. I say recent, but it's actually out in February. This was the Journal of the American Medical Association. So this is not some Mickey Mouse journal. Okay, this is like big time famous. It's for all the doctors in America. And so what they did was a small study. To me, it's a small study. They took 80 people, roughly half males and half females, average age about 30 years old. Okay, so these are working, adult Americans, okay, who are half of them female, half of them male, and they're all overweight. They're all not at an ideal weight, right? They are definitely having too much fat on board. Now, they don't have sleep disorders, they don't have shift work, but they habitually sleep for less than 6.5 hours. I want you to remember this. If you sleep for less than 6.5 hours, you are definitely not going to be having an optimal duration of sleep. I have to hold my hand up. Sometimes I'm actually guilty of that. Oh yeah, see, the whole studio is holding their hands up. Okay. Now what they then did is they sort of said, okay, you guys split into half. So half of you, okay, you continue with your habitual sleep less than 6.5 hours. You do what you normally do. Okay, we won't change anything. You continue sleeping for your less than 6.5 hours and we'll see what happens. The other 40 underwent what they call sleep hygiene counseling, right? So you think about your personal hygiene, right? You think about washing your hands this day and age, okay? Right? You think about hygiene as being clean, but there's actually this thing called sleep hygiene as well. And what that actually means is that, look, you know, washing hands, is it habitual for you, right? Your hands are dirty, go and wash. Before you go and makan, go and wash. All right, your toilet hygiene. After you do your toileting, what do? You wash, you wipe, etc. Right? Okay. So this is inbuilt and trained. But I think sleep hygiene is also something that needs to be inbuilt and trained as well. And so these people were counseled to try to extend that less than 6.5 to up to 8.5. Now they didn't quite manage to hit 8.5, but on average, most of them hit 8 hours, which is actually the recommended number of hours for sleep. Okay, so half of them continued to sleep for less than 6.5. The other half of them managed to sleep for up to 8 hours. And you guess what? Okay, you don't have to guess lah, you already know. Those who slept normally, that means their usual less than 6.5 hours, they tended to eat a little bit more calories. Now, we're not talking about a whole KFC bucket. We're not talking about 3 bowls of ice cream. It's just a little bit extra, okay? But those who managed to sleep more, right? They went from sleeping less than 6.5 hours, 6.5 hours, to sleeping 8 hours, okay? A 1.5 hour extra of sleep. They actually took less calories, and the net deficit, the net difference was actually about 270 less calories per day. You might kind of think 270 kilocalories is actually not that much. What is it, like one donut? Okay, yeah. You have to look at it this way. If you sleep less by 1.5 hours than your usual 8 hours, you take an extra 270. It's equivalent to you taking an extra 270 calories a day, which is roughly 2 cans of Coke, right? And you can talk to me and say, hey, but doc, I don't drink Coke. I don't take Coke. Yeah, well, the thing is, if you don't sleep enough, it's like you are drinking Coke, right? You are getting that extra calories, okay? You can think about it as one donut, 2 cans of Coke, etc. But it is extra calories per day, and it's not that much in the grand scheme of things, okay? Right? An adult male requires about 2,000 calories a day, female about 1,008 kilocalories a day. So you kind of think, 270 plus minus. But what happens is this is sleep hygiene. These are sleep habits, and this is occurring on a regular basis. So 270 calories, if you want to burn back that 270 calories of lack of sleep, okay, you need to jog at a moderate pace for about half an hour, okay? So you can't say, oh, but it kind of all balances up lah, right? I do that half an hour a jog, it balances up with my lack of 1.5 hours. But don't forget, sleep has multiple other benefits apart from just the weight issue as well. Of course, if you don't get enough sleep, the next day you don't function as efficiently as you do, right? People ask you, what is 73 minus 17? You take that little bit longer to answer the question and to comprehend, right? You will not be at your optimum. So we're talking about all of these small little things that you may not notice, but it does make a difference ultimately. Now, how does it make an ultimate difference? Okay, so you have 270. If you take 270 less calories on a one-day basis, what happens to you over a month? Agak-agak, about 1.2 kilogram weight loss over a month for an average 30-year-old. Just by this 30-year-old sleeping the 8 hours rather than the 6.5 hours, he's able to lose that extra 1.2 kilocalories. Now, Mini Pang, you got a suggestion here. Drink Diet Coke then. Okay. Oh, press send. Okay, yeah, sorry. I keep forgetting to send. Drink Diet Coke then. Ya la. You're so clever, Mini Pang. Bikini Pang, I should call you, right? So I have a few more questions and comments. I'll take a short break here. Hi, Dr. Alex. I would like to ask, thank you, Si Wu. If my sleeping time is irregular, sometimes 2 a.m., sometimes 4 a.m., wow, okay. But I still sleep 6 to 8 hours. Is it healthy/okay? Now, what I would actually recommend is that you actually try to regularize it. I do understand that sometimes because of your job, the nature of your work, okay, there are certain things where you have to do shift work. There are certain things where you have to rush projects. There are certain things where you get phone calls from, Norway in the middle of the night asking you to solve a problem. Yeah. Now, what actually happens is most of our bodies, we work according to some form of a circadian rhythm, right? You may have heard a little bit about it when we talked about intermittent fasting in one of my previous episodes, and how eating too late at night also has an impact. Not just how much you eat, but what time you eat it, you consume the calories, also has an impact. Okay, so you have to try and match your eating time with this circadian rhythm, this internal clock that your body has, yeah? And you have to try and match it with your sleeping time as well. When your body tells you to sleep, tells you that you need to sleep, please try to sleep. Of course, there are occasions where you cannot due to external factors, okay? But you should try your very best to get back to sleep. Now, what I'm trying to say also is this: 1 or 2 nights may not matter, okay? But if you have sleep deprivation over a week, for example, you will start to see the effects, and you will start to eat more, and you will start to gain more. Okay, now, so try to sleep at the correct period of time. Try to sleep where it's actually lights out, it's still actually good that you manage to get your 8 hours. So if you're only sleeping 6, that's not a good thing. Okay, try to get your 8 hours, 7 to 8 hours in. I know, right? Some of you who know me, you will know that, I send WhatsApps at 5 a.m. sometimes. Okay, so I wake up at odd hours sometimes, and I will put my hands up. I work in a hospital, right? I get called at midnight. Yesterday, I got called at midnight. Okay, but try your very best to have good sleep hygiene. Sleep hygiene, I like the term lah. You wash your hands, right? So you wash your hands properly, so you must also sleep properly lah. Okay. So Jessie Nightingale, thank you for your question as well. Can compensating lack of sleep for a few days before helps? Especially on weekends, we sleep longer hours to compensate for the shorter sleeping hours on weekdays. Yeah, it doesn't actually quite compensate so much. What you have to understand, and I think you will know this. Weight gain, very easy one. Super easy to gain weight, right? All of us know this. It just takes one action for the goreng pisang to go from the plate into your mouth, and it's in your mouth and it's in your stomach. Not much you can do about it once it's inside of you. Now, losing weight for that one goreng pisang, what do you have to do? Jog half an hour, jog 1 hour. Okay, so is it worth it? Yeah. So the best is still to try to get into sleeping regularly and healthily. Okay, again, I understand, Jessie, you are a nurse. There are non-ideal conditions. You do try to make up for it on the weekend. Okay, at least your body gets proper rest over the weekend, but actually over the weekdays you should probably sleep properly as well. Now, Xuewei, I knew you would ask this. I just knew you would ask this. How sleep related to cortisol hormone? So your cortisol hormone is your baseline metabolism hormone, right? It's a type of hormone that prepares your body for activity. It prepares your body for times of stress. Okay, it makes you kind of put on weight. Now, when you sleep at night, by right, you should have a very low cortisol level. If I were to sneak in to your bedroom in the hospital and take a cortisol sample right in the middle of the night, it can be very, very low, close to zero. Why? Because you're resting and you're sleeping. You should not be under stress. If you, however, have diseases, like Xuewei, you know all about our Cushing's episode, yeah? If you have this thing called Cushing's disease, then your cortisol will be high overnight, and that will impact you from having a proper night's sleep. And having a poor night's sleep, in fact, makes your cortisol worse the next day because you're under stress, whether you feel it or not. So that is another mechanism by which you can gain weight. Okay, so thank you for all your questions. So yeah, as I was saying in my PowerPoint, 270 less calories per day. Okay, if you take everything else out being equal, if the amount of food you continue to eat was the same and the amount of physical activity is the same and you have no illnesses, you have no changes to your body, you should be losing weight, right? Just by sleeping more, from the very fact that you're eating less. So I shouldn't say, the amount of food is the same, because obviously the amount of food that you're getting should be less. 2 Coke coins less per day, okay? Now, I think what is more important as well is to address the fact that how do I get more sleep? Okay, there may be issues around the fact that you sometimes in this modern world, right? Like now it should be about sleeping time, but I'm surrounded by lights from the studio. Okay, how do I get more sleep? Okay, and all these naps in between, you have to realize sometimes they don't always count towards better health. You do need to get your REM sleep in. So here are a few of my tips. First thing is to make it a priority. Now, you can set New Year's resolutions. You can say that I want to lose 5 kilos. Okay? I want to lose 5 kilos. That is my New Year's resolution. So that is a goal. But it's also important to realize that if you value your health and you need to sleep properly, you need to set it as a goal maybe. I think that's why I put it first and foremost. Set a goal. You tell yourself, I want to sleep 8 hours a day from this time to this time. Okay, you set it as a goal rather than sort of being moved around by the forces of life and sort of say, yeah, today maybe I watch Liverpool versus Manchester United, or maybe today I play some games on my phone or WhatsApp or Facebook a little bit extra. Okay, you set a goal, and when you set a goal, perhaps it will show your determination to do it. Now, one of the main things is also you need to reduce light, ambient light in your room, in the place where you sleep. Now, if it's not possible, then get Mr. Pan Pan to help you. Okay, wear something to actually reduce ambient light. And one of the very important things to reduce is actually blue light, which comes from all our electronica. So this is the next point I make. In this day and age, number one source of light at night is not going to be your lamp in your room, okay? It's more likely to be your phone screen or your iPad screen or your computer screen. And the problem with these lights is that it pushes into your brain, and your brain continues to get mixed up signals. It feels tired, okay? It's gone through a whole day of work, but it's still getting signals that it's still daylight, okay? And usually the content which is available on your phone and your screen, guess what? It ain't the kind of content that is naturally produced to make you want to sleep one. Usually it's exciting content. Usually it's very stimulating content. So you got to set a goal and sort of say, no electronica for me after, let's say, 9 p.m., right? No electronics for me after a certain set time, right? You know the rules about caffeine, isn't it? Yeah, but caffeine is so last time already. Yeah, the one thing I think which keeps people up at night nowadays is actually electronica. And okay, again, I put my hand up, right? I know people are watching this. I'm also guilty of it, have been guilty of it. Okay, but we have to make an effort. What else is also to set a routine? Okay, now, and remember I said set a goal, yeah? You also need to sort of break that goal down and say, I'm going to set a routine. I'm going to wake up at this point in time. I'm going to sleep at this point in time. So if you set a routine, you say that, okay, 10 p.m. is my bedtime or 11 p.m. is my bedtime, try your very best to actually stick to that bedtime. Okay, rather than sort of, and if you set that routine and you get your body into that routine, then it helps a lot in terms of how you can actually get enough sleep. Make it habitual, right? Why do you brush your teeth? Why do you comb your hair? Why do you wash your hands, right? After and before eating? Because it's a routine. It's something that you're habitually doing, yeah? So again, it applies to your sleep as well. Some other more traditional tips how to fall asleep at night more easily is to get some exercise. Okay, of course you work out, then you will use up energy, you will feel tired, and it'll be a bit more easier for you to sleep. And you can get exercise perhaps which is non-stimulatory, not those kind of like kind of thing. Yes, ultimately it might make you go to sleep, but if you do it too late sometimes, right, Zumbaing too late sometimes, okay, you might actually be more pumped up and find it difficult to sleep if you're mentally stimulated from it. So you got to find the right type of exercise. And I have this picture of this sleepy dog and cat there, so sometimes if you need to do exercise with your partner in bed, then by all means, I'm sure it'll help you sleep. Okay, all right. So, and finally, of course, less caffeine. I've already talked about it, yeah, and it still holds very true. Anything which stimulates your mind to continue to stay up, including caffeine, okay, nicotine, yeah. So these are things that if you're already having trouble sleeping, you do need to try to slowly cut it out from your routine and life. Now, I have some questions here, so Xue, thank you for your question, because you are saying I need to reduce my sleep as I sleep too much. So again, I think this is where if this is really the opposite thing which is actually happening to you, then you need to get into a routine as well. Yeah, because it can be true. Too much sleep also can make you feel tired. Okay, so you need to look at certain things. Are you taking certain medications? Are you taking caffeine too much? Are you, sorry, not caffeine too much. Are you taking alcohol too much, for example? I know you don't drink, Siak Wei, but yeah, are there things which are making you oversleep? Try to make sure that you don't go to sleep too early then, right? Don't go to sleep at 7 p.m. Okay, then that's too much. Okay, and then try, you have your handphone which can actually give you alarms. So try to set alarms and stick to those alarms so that you get into the habit of not oversleeping lor. Okay, but your problem is rare last. Wei Wei. Most people nowadays, including myself, don't get enough sleep. Mini Pang is asking, Zumba finishes at 9 p.m. Is that considered late? I think should be okay. 9 p.m. you finish off your Zumba class. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to press send. Send. Okay. Should be okay. Hopefully by 10, all the adrenaline and the rush and everything is out of your system. If you do your Zumba at 11 p.m., I guarantee you're not going to fall asleep straight away. Mickey Wong, again, thank you for your question and for your support. Present, right? Meditate before sleep is good. Yeah, I totally agree. You need to put yourself into a state of relaxation. So yeah, definitely meditate before sleep is good. Meditation, I think, has many benefits. So maybe, Mr. Producer, we should do an episode on meditation, right? Why not? Okay. Now, why are you showing me this up and down? Okay, my legs are closed. What? Okay, so more time for Q&A for the viewers. If you have any more questions, please feel free to send them in. Okay, once again, right, be aware that not enough sleep can cause you to not lose weight as easily. Okay, and if you gain weight, right, that can also impact your sleep. Okay, because when you're a bit too heavy, right, your breathing in the middle of the night can be affected, and so therefore it'll make you sleep even less or get less quality sleep, and then the cycle goes round and round. Okay, Mickey Wong. All right, I finished playing badminton at 8 p.m. last night. I had good and deep sleep. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, you can ha ha ha. It shows that you still got a lot of energy lor. Okay, so yesterday play badminton, today play what? Today play iPad and A Doctor show, right? Okay, so see lah, after watching A Doctor can sleep or not. Okay. Jessie Nightingale has a very interesting comment. Sometimes I need coffee to sleep. Very weird. Sometimes alcohol helps too, especially when feel tipsy, easy for me to sleep. Okay, I'm going to address alcohol first. The first thing you need to know about alcohol is that although it makes you feel sleepy and you go to sleep, the quality of your sleep is actually not good. Remember, you need the REM sleep, right? Alcohol puts you into non-REM, but you don't actually get into the REM where you dream properly and you get proper rest. Your brain does not, because of that effect of alcohol. So many people sort of say, oh, I drink whiskey already, very easy for me to sleep. But yes, you do end up having a tendency of, if you drink too much alcohol at night, waking up in the middle of the night, whether you know it or not. Okay, so you don't get quality sleep if you drink too much alcohol. So it's actually a myth to sort of say that, oh, drinking lots of alcohol at night, yeah, you might get that sort of initial sleep, but it's usually not a good sleep. Okay, why do you think people get a hangover the next day, right? It's still not ideal. Now, of course, if you do have tolerance to alcohol and sort of like, just one glass doesn't do anything to you, then that's fine. Sometimes you need coffee to sleep. Well, okay, if it works for you, it works for. But in general, if you do have trouble sleeping, then caffeine is not something that you want to be taking to help you to sleep. So maybe you have a tolerance to caffeine and coffee. You drink so much of it, your blood is, 100% latte. I don't know lah, Jessie. Okay, but yeah, in general, right, for many people, caffeine does not lead to a good night's sleep. Hey, Sharon, how are you? Try acupressure mat. Helps with sleep too, right? yeah, where can we buy an acupressure mat from? Common Ground? Uh, yeah, helps you sleep too. Yeah, I suppose. I guess anything that helps you to relax, helps you to chill out, meditation, acupressure mat, okay? Anything that just doesn't stimulate you and keep your mind awake. Brinda, thank you. Right? How are you doing? Scented candles and those diffusers also help. Yeah, I suppose if the smell doesn't sort of irritate you, law, and the worry of the candle burning down your house doesn't irritate you, law, right? Yeah, can sure, no problem. Just don't burn your house down, lah. Okay. Dream a lot is not a quality sleep. Okay, so yeah, if you're having nightmares, etc., you wake up in the middle of the night drenched in sweat. Okay, yeah, obviously not. Okay, so when I say dream, it's just a sort of a surrogate to sort of say that you need a certain type of sleep, right? There's non-REM and REM, and you need a little bit of both. Okay, but you do need quality sleep. Most of the time, you're not aware that you dream, and that's a good thing, and you don't remember your dreams. Okay, because right, when you do have those dreams, they do happen. Everybody will have dreams. You just don't remember them because you're deep asleep. Angeline, thank you for your interesting question. Does drinking milk help sleep easier? Yes, actually, there are some small studies that show things like milk, right? Warm milk. What else I can remember? Bananas. Okay, now don't go and eat 10 bananas to sleep, lah, for goodness sakes. But yeah, maybe eating things inside bananas that do aid with sleep. Okay, so yeah, these are some of the things help. Mickey Wong, can hot shower or drink hot milk help sleep easier? Can try, as long as you don't feel too uncomfortable and too hot in the middle of the night. So again, yeah, milk. I think it's called tryptophan, something like that. It's also present inside other foods. You can Google that, and they do help you to sleep more. What about people who actually sleepwalk? Are they actually having quality sleep? This is an interesting question. I don't think I know enough about it. It does mean that they are probably in really, really, really deep sleep. Now, however, sleepwalking can sometimes be due to brain diseases. Okay, you will hear about certain people who have epilepsy, certain people who have had strokes before, patients with Parkinson's who develop this sleepwalking phenomenon. And so therefore, if it becomes very bad, like your wife has to catch hold of you before you fall down the stairs kind of thing, then you may need to see a doctor to sort of investigate why this is happening. I think one key thing is to know that the next morning when you wake up, do you feel refreshed? Do you feel okay or not? Right? People ask you to do mental calculations and things like that. Are you at your very fast? Do you find yourself, after you start working already, feeling very tired, feeling like going to sleep again? Okay, so definitely that is not good sleep. How to reduce snoring? This is one whole entire other episode of A Doctor, because snoring, there are many multiple things that could go wrong. Okay, it could be problems in your nose, in your throat, in your breathing tube. It could be problems due to fat accumulation around your chest, your tonsils, etc. So reducing snoring is a whole different episode lah of A Doctor. But thank you for the question, Jesse. So how to reduce snoring for, is it yourself or the person sleeping next to you? I don't know. Sleep in another bed, lor, I guess. Yeah. Okay. So so those are some of the questions. So I think with that, I do want to thank everybody. I don't have any more questions online, and if I think I've come to my last PowerPoint slide, have I? Can I get my PowerPoint back on? I cannot remember whether this is my last slide. I think it is. Oh, it is. So thank you very much to all of you who have participated. Now, thank you and good night. I want to announce that this is actually the season finale for A Doctor, and you guys have been really supportive starting from the very first episode. Thank you to all of you. Tonight, I'm announcing that we have special prizes. Not the cup of water. Okay, special prizes for the most participative and engaging viewers for the entire season. So my producer Anthony has gone back and seen who said what and who talked how many times and who liked and shared and subscribed. Okay, and we do have the winners for this season's A Doctor finale. And for you guys who won the prize, you can personally PM the A Doctor Facebook page with your mailing address, and we will actually mail it to you. That's how much we appreciate you guys. I think the cost of the mailing might be more than the prize itself, but we love you lah. That's what matters. Okay. So now the winners. Is of course Xue Wei. Everybody who's participated tonight, Xue Wei, Jessie Nightingale, FSBI, right? Not FBI, FSBI. Okay. I know you're listening in. Jotan, Travis, and of course Evan Hu Chi Hao, right? Congratulations. Thank you so much for all of your support. We will be mailing you these very nice I don't know what you call them, masks, not like face masks, but sleeping mask. And they actually have a cooling gel that you can apply. So, it can be heated up or cooled down, whatever you prefer. And hopefully these will help you to sleep lah. Many different designs. Don't forget to come onto the Facebook page and give us your mailing address. I actually know where some of y'all live. So if you do shy to go and claim the prize, I'll personally go and deliver it to your house. Okay? So again, thank you so much to all these special prize winners. So final thoughts, fans of Dr. Alex. Looking forward to next season. Gonna miss you till the next season. Yes, we will be having season 2 date to be announced because we haven't quite figured out the exact date yet. Okay, but this is today's season finale. Thank you so much, all of y'all. It's been a fantastic season. I've really enjoyed doing every single episode of A Doctor so far. And we will have more stuff for you next season. So thank you very much once again. And I would say good night. Okay, good night. And I better go to sleep. You better switch off the lights because I'm supposed to this is mine. Not supposed to have light. Okay? Supposed to have mic, but no light.
Hey, doctor!
What? What?
Good night.
Oh, good night.